Okay, well, let's get started. We have very little time. I'd like to thank everybody for coming. I thought the general session went great. I think people were very civil, and I think it was a great dialogue, and I hope we can continue that in here as well. The format for the evening is that you submit written questions, and I ask those questions. The person responding gets, each person gets a minute to respond, and then a 30-second rebuttal, so it's very quick. I think it will give you a flavor of the candidates, but if you want more in-depth answers, I would encourage you to contact them directly on specific issues that may be of interest to you. I brought in some palm cards here. Their contact information is on these cards. I may take the liberty there, if I don't get caught, of maybe dispensing with the written questions, because I don't have really too many written questions. I'll go through those, and then if you know, everybody's agreeable and everybody is civil, maybe we can just entertain questions from the floor. Are the candidates comfortable with that?
That's fine. That's
okay. Fine. So the word here is respect for the candidates respect for each other, and that means sticking to the allotted time. I'm going to start though with the questions I've been given. I have two questions that were really directed to Seamus, but what I'm going to do is generalize them and let each of the candidates talk about these questions. So, and I'll start with Ken because he's the closest to me. And Ken, you have a minute to answer this. What are your past leadership roles, and how will they help? And how do they help you be a good councilman?
Well, after coming to Troy, I got involved in ice hockey officiating, and early on I realized that the local association did not have much leadership. It was kind of a ragtag fleet of officials doing their own thing. So I actually organized officials, and by the time 15 years later, being president of the association after 15 years, we had 200 referees working in the association. We were using email and technology to schedule officials. So that was my first, in terms of Troy and RPI, that was my first leadership role. I've served in leadership roles on various technology committees throughout the Capital Region. And then most recently, 4 years ago, when I realized that our own neighborhood did not really have an organized group, I decided, hey, we should really have a neighborhood group for the East Side. And I started up, or I guess refounded the Troy East Side Neighborhood Association, and I've been leading that over the last 4 years, and we now have over 300 members.
Oops, sorry guys, it's technology. Thank you. Seamus, you want to take a shot at that?
I think my leadership skills started from a young age. My father unfortunately passed away when I was 7 years old. My mother raised me, my younger brother Sean, who's currently a junior at Troy High. So right off the bat, I had to take a leadership role with my younger brother. I knew that I would never replace my father, his father, but to guide him along the way, everything that I could. Also, I've always worked in the private sector. I've previously worked for Lowe's, the Home Improvement Center, and I used to actually get sent up to Vermont when they were opening up stores to oversee their sales process, training into the computer system, and kind of just teach those people about the way that company did that. Now I work at Cooley Motors. I'm a sales consultant there, and it's my own little business within a business. So I've taken some leadership roles in there to see to it that I have certain goals that I have to meet every month, and you have to meet them or you're not going to get paid. So,
thank you. Seamus, this question is directed to you, and then I'll have Ken answer as well. This question has to do with values. The questioner wanted to know what are your values and how will you apply them in this role as councilman?
Yeah, well, and just to go back to again my upbringing, because my mother, raising me as a single parent, family values was always something so important. I have a large family. My mother's family is mostly still around here. She has 7 siblings. So family is very important, and what I think family teaches you is to be there for one another, how to work together. When you have 50 cousins running for the dinner table on Christmas, you realize that you have to respect one another. Not only that, but I'm also Catholic, and I pull on those values greatly also, and I think that's a good set of values to follow. And I think that your life experiences throughout, again, my life that's not always been easy, allows me to make the right judgment calls and see everything from a certain perspective, a fair, even-keeled, realistic perspective.
Thank you. Ken?
I think my values really stem from my work ethic. And I'm hoping that people that are involved in the neighborhoods that I represent have seen that over the last 4 years. I did not run for office just because I can, put a title after my name. I really, really care about the city of Troy. I hope that shows in the work I do. I take a lot of time and a lot of pride in the work that I'm doing on the council right now. The legislation that I've drafted, that I've sponsored, is meant to really address problems that people have talked to me about. So obviously hard work, respect. I'm known to get along with everyone on the council. I don't hold grudges. I don't care what political parties people are in. I respect everyone as co-equals, and I expect the same in return. And integrity. There's obviously Troy politics. We joke it's a blood sport, and I always conduct myself with the highest integrity. And again, I expect that from my colleagues as well.
Thank you. Okay. I have a question here. Somebody has asked what are the borders of the district? Can either of you answer that with specificity?
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, it's for you have the east side, the South Troy, and the Hillsview Heights neighborhoods. Pretty much you go on one part of Lincoln, and then you'd also be from Jefferson to Liberty Street. It also splits down, it's an interesting district, it splits down the middle of Pauling Avenue until you get to the point there. And it would include, once you go down Spring Avenue, it includes Canal, Hill, cuts through there also. It also splits off for a chunk of the Hillsview Heights area also.
Okay.
Can I
Sure.
clarify?
Yep.
In terms of South Central and South Troy, it's Liberty all the way south to Jackson. So it's South Central and portions of South Troy. It includes all of Ridgeview Estates. It's the Hillsview Heights area, but not Griswold Heights. So Griswold Heights is out of the district, but as soon as you hit O'Neill, from O'Neill all the way over to where Madison borders it, that's part of the district. Spring Ave down, as Seamus said, and the east side, really from Route 2, we wrap around. Prospect Park is actually in the district. Kinloch Park is also in the district.
I think Ken would agree too. It's probably one of the most interesting districts because it really encompasses a lot of different neighborhoods. I mean, you're not just dealing with one neighborhood. You have so many different issues between South Troy, Hillsview Heights, East Side. You're going to have different issues for each area.
Great. Okay. I have some questions that have been submitted by the organizers, and we'll see how many of these we can get through.